Okay, electricity class. I am going over what you were supposed to do as practice for a series circuit. Um, Supposed to find the values for these characteristics of electricity. So, as you can see, we had a chart that already had these filled out, as I told you they would be a lot of the time. So, R or ohms, V or E, volts, amps or I, and W or P. Now, often they, I don't know how I got these in this order. Doesn't matter, but usually it'll go V, A, R, and W. So we just got to be careful to keep these in order. So, and as you can see, this is that alternating current symbol. Remember, it doesn't matter whether that's a battery symbol. Remember, batteries are direct current or DC. This is an AC or alternating current, but it doesn't matter in our figures. That's just always our power source. So coming down here, we have 10 volts total right there. And at resistor 1, we have ohms. We have 100 ohms. We have 500 ohms at 2 and 400 ohms at 3. Now, if you remember our first rule, it was, so first off, let's review. We're trying to get at least 2 variables at each one of these resistance points so that we can figure out the other 2 variables using our Ohm's law formula wheel. So we have to use our rules of logic. Now I'm not going to go all the way through them. I've done that in another video, but these 3 rules. There's one for current, there's one for resistance, and there's one for voltage. So I'll just refer back to those when we're doing this. But this is the same as the one I did on the other video where we have total voltage and then we have our ohms at all 3 places. They won't all give you those, it won't always be this scenario, but they will always give you something that you can figure out using the logic rules. Okay, just so you know. Anyway, the first rule said that the total resistance is the sum of all the resistors. So what that means is I can add these together, which would be 1,000 ohms total. And now I have 2 variables in my total, which means I can then find another one. The one I really want to find is my amps or current, because if I find it in one of these spots, any one of these spots, it's the same in the other spots. So if I remember, you divide my volts by my resistance and I get my amps. So let's turn on our calculator. Volts divided by resistance, and we get 0.01. So that is our amperage, 0.01 amps. And then we just go ahead and put it all the way across. Okay, so now we have at least 2 things everywhere. So to find volts when you know amps and resistance, I'll go ahead and put this on here. Volts when you know amps and resistance, you multiply them. So amps times resistance. So 100 times 0.01. It's going to be 1, isn't it? Yep, that's 1%. So that is 1 volt. So 0.1 times 500 is just going to be 5. And 1.01 times 400 is just going to be 4. And if you remember, the third rule, and I could put it up here if you want me to, but the third rule right here says the applied voltage or the total voltage is equal to the sum of the voltage drops across all resistors. Well, the sum is 4 plus 5 plus 1 is 10, and that equals our applied voltage. So that checks out. And then finally, power. Power is just amps times volts. So 10 times 0.01, and you're going to have what? You're going to have 0.1. So 0.1 W. And again, this will be the total is these added together. So 1 times 0.01. And you get 0.01, right? So this is going to be 0.05. This is going to be 0.04. 0.04 plus 0.05 plus 0.01 is 0.1. So we know that's right. So this is your key for the exercise. Hopefully you did that right. All right, I'm going to post one more practice exercise, and then in class I'll have the key that you can look at. And then you're going to have to hopefully be good enough at this, or I can give you more practices. But this is the 3 program practice sheets I'm going to give you. If you want to do more on your own and have, come in and let me help you check them, that's fine. But you're going to have to be able to do a simple version of a series circuit on a quiz after those 3 practice. Okay.